Welcome to Cosmic Scene with Jill Jardine. I'm your host, Jill Jardine, Master's in Counseling Psychology, longtime astrologer, psychic healer, and yogi. In this episode, I'm going to discuss the power of the solstice and why we should honor these solar festivals. Stay tuned till the end of the episode when I teach Sanskrit mantras for the sun. Welcome to the episode on the importance of the solar festivals called solstices and why these are powerful turning points on planet Earth. We can all benefit from paying attention on our home planet to these biannual cosmic events. The solstice isn't about pagan worship or honoring ancient gods or goddesses. It's about life itself. Stay tuned to the end of the episode when I share Sanskrit mantras for the sun. These mantras bring in healing and help empower the sun in your natal birth chart. So let's begin by defining what is a solstice. When the North Pole turns roughly in the direction of the sun, it is summer in the northern hemisphere. The sun is then more nearly overhead at noon, so its rays strike the earth at an angle that is closer to perpendicular. The days are long and the nights are short. Meanwhile, it is winter in the southern hemisphere. Solar rays are less intense, and the days are shorter, and the sun is closer to the horizon all day long. In 6 months, the situation will be reversed. The southern hemisphere will enjoy the long days and intense sunlight of summer, while the northern hemisphere will immerse into the short, cold days of winter. Around June 21st, the North Pole is pointed sunward, so people in the northern hemisphere experience the summer solstice, the longest day of the year. For people in the southern hemisphere, the same day is their winter solstice. The word solstice comes from the Latin words sol stetit, that's S-O-L and S-T-E-T-I-T, which mean literally the sun stood still. Did you know that equinoxes and solstices happen at the same moment around the world? Even though we all have different time zones, this is an astronomical event based on our planet's orbit around the sun and tilt on its axis. Our ancestors lived amidst nature more than most of us do today. They observed the universe, marveling in its rhythms. They used the sun and the moon as sort of a calendar, tracking the sun's path across the sky. Here are some examples of the ancient sites and monuments that were built to align with the solstices or equinoxes. Our ancestors built the first observatories to track the sun's progress. So here's some location of these solar and lunar markers. The first is in Stonehenge. It's in England on Salisbury Plain. Every year on the summer solstice, thousands of people travel to Wiltshire, England, to Stonehenge, a place where huge stones that were arranged in a circle around 3000 BC stand. The huge monument marks the relation between the sun and the seasons. On the dawning of the summer solstice, the sun rises directly above the heel stone, a mysterious prehistoric monument whose origins, depending on interpretation, were as an ancient burial ground, an astrological observatory, or even a supernatural phenomenon. The second observatory is in Machu Picchu, Peru. Machu Picchu is the transcendent city of the Incas. This archaeological site is perched atop a mountain overlooking the Urubamba Valley in Peru. There is a giant stone at the top of this sacred mountain called Intihuatana, which means the place when the sun gets tied. Amazingly, the stone is perfectly positioned so that each corner sits at the 4 cardinal points, north, south, east, and west, and at an angle of about 13 degrees northward. Usually the stone casts a shadow throughout the day as any other structure would. However, at exactly noon on the date of the spring or fall equinox, the sun's shadow disappears. Therefore, the stone is a precise indicator of the date of the two equinoxes. The third ancient observatory is located in Chichen Itza, Mexico. At what is now Chichen Itza, Mexico, Mayans built a huge pyramid around the year AD 1000. The play of the sun's light on it signals the beginning of the seasons. On the spring equinox, for example, the light pattern looks like a snake. Mayans call this day the return of the sun serpent. The fourth ancient observatory is in Chaco Canyon in New Mexico, in the United States. In today's Chaco Canyon, New Mexico, the ancestral Pueblo people, who were expert sky watchers, carved spiral designs into rock to track the seasons and record the passage of time. In this canyon is a petroglyph called the Sun Dagger, because of the way the sun's wedge-shaped beams strike it in midday during the summer and winter solstices. The fifth ancient observatory for the sun is in Newgrange, Ireland. Around 3200 BC, ancient people in Ireland built a huge mound of dirt and surrounded it with stones. Today, the knoll is called Newgrange. For 5 days around the winter solstice, a beam of sunlight illuminates a small room inside the mound for 17 minutes at dawn. The room holds only 20 people at a time. And then the sixth ancient observatory site is located at the Great Sphinx and Pyramid of Khafre in Egypt. The famous pyramids and sphinx of ancient Egypt also have their time in marking the sun. On the spring or fall equinoxes, a peculiar phenomena occurs. If you stand directly in front of the sphinx facing it at sunset on the date of either equinox as the sun nears the horizon, you'll observe it settle directly onto the sphinx's right shoulder. At this angle, the sun also sits at the southern corner of the Pyramid of Khafre, located behind the Sphinx. So astrologically, the summer solstice occurs on June 20th, 21st, or 22nd annually and marks the time when the sun shifts from Gemini into the sign Cancer, which is the official start of summer in the Northern Hemisphere. The summer solstice has been celebrated from eons in many cultures to celebrate nature at her peak. It is a time of abundance, warmth, and fertility. The nights are short and the days are long. But from the solstice onward, the days shorten and the nights get longer until midwinter as light retreats into darkness. In European traditions of old, the summer solstice, or Midsummer's Festival, was a time of celebrating fertility and abundance and honoring the Earth Mother Goddess. Bonfires were lit, and ritual or orgiastic sex was sanctioned as part of this festival to enhance the fertility of the earth. Side note here, there's a movie called Midsommar, Midsomer. It's a Scandinavian movie take on the pagan festivals in Scandinavia, but is set in current time. And it's considered a horror film genre. I saw it when I was in Sedona, and I was really freaked out by it, the movie Midsommar. The custom of lighting bonfires at the solstice was not exclusive to Europe, but it also occurred in other locations around the world, including North Africa and the Americas. The sanctioned and coordinated release of procreative energy served two important functions. One was it strengthened the bonds within the community, and two, it served to stimulate and revitalize the land. In fact, in Europe, until fairly recent time, it was customary for rural couples to make love in the fields around Beltane, May 1st, considered a cross-quarter day, and midsummer to ensure a bountiful harvest. This was a survival of a much older fertility rites in which whole communities participated. The solstices were celebrated by our ancestors for many reasons, notably as a license for sexual proclivities, encouraged at this time to bless the fertility and abundance of the earth. The solstices were a time of honoring the forces of order and light, the divine feminine and divine masculine, paying tribute to Mother Earth and Father Sun. Solstices were times to celebrate the polarities of bringing people of the planet in sync with the cycles of nature. The solstice and equinoxes, known as solar festivals, as well as the full moons, lunar festivals, were celebrated for bringing orderly rhythms to the earth, allowing her people an opportunity to harmonize these rhythms through ritual, dance, and festivity. The winter solstice has always been a time to pray for the return of order and light, while the summer solstice is a time to celebrate and give thanks for abundance. The ancients knew that human beings exist in much larger ecological and cosmic systems and must abide by the rules of those systems if we are to survive. The solstices are ideal times to acknowledge and celebrate our responsibilities to these greater realms of being. When the summer solstice arrives and summer is here, we experience the predominance of warmth and light, increasing power of the solar ethers. The northern hemisphere is exposed to solar influences because it is most exposed to the sun because of the tilt of the Earth's axis. The Earth in the northern hemisphere is taking its outbreath. All the growth and fruiting processes begun in the spring can now culminate under the sun's influence. Another quality of summertime is the mystical or magical feel of summer nights. I remember as a teenager hanging out by a lake with the moon reflecting on the water and feeling as if almost anything could happen, including making out with that cute boy who had a summer home here. According to Rudolf Steiner, an Austrian philosopher, social reformer, esotericist, and claimed clairvoyant, who founded Anthroposophy and wrote many esoteric books and treatises, quote, from Rudolf Steiner, "In summertime, the spirits of the elements working through nature sprites work very hard during the summer days, bringing higher spiritual forces into the earth. At night, the nature sprites get a rest from the work with the higher spiritual forces," end quote. And then they can basically do their own thing. So these beings from the fairy realm are busy at night doing their own rituals, dancing and giving that mystical feeling to summer nights. And Shakespeare captures this with the whole idea in Midsummer's Night's Dream. In Europe, the time of midsummer or summer solstice was widely celebrated, as was the winter solstice. We still have remnants from the European winter solstice with our updated version of the ancient visitation of the solstice shaman, who we've renamed Santa Claus. The ancient rites of summer solstice have virtually disappeared from modern European culture. The summer solstice, like midwinter, have been incorporated into a Christian calendar, where the summer solstice is connected to the feast day of St. John the Baptist, which traditionally happens on June 24th, while the winter solstice coincides with the Christian celebration of Christmas. The reason behind the summer solstice disappearing as a time marker or celebration and the winter solstice remaining more recognized is because the winter solstice is a festival of sky and sun, S-O-N, the birth of the sun, S-O-N, or Son of God, and therefore a male festival and glorifies the masculine energies as divine masculine, beginning the astrological sign Capricorn. Meanwhile, the summer solstice is honoring the earth and the goddess. It is an earth festival marking the inpouring of the divine feminine and begins the feminine sign of Cancer. Western civilization suppressed the feminine and plundered the earth, while promoting male sky god religions and denigrating the earth and the feminine. That's why at this time, many people still can't admit that the planet Earth is in crisis as our resources continue to be plundered for the greed of a few. A return to honoring the earth and the feminine will help restore this balance of the Earth's fragile ecosystem, as well as balancing the masculine and feminine elements of the planet. Now, this information I shared back in the late 90s when I used to do summer solstice activations in the late 90s and early 2000s. And at that time, I had written, as we are posed on the brink of a new millennium, when the earth cries out for healing, and now we can say here we are, 21 years into this new millennium, when the earth still cries out for healing, it is of benefit to humanity for the planet to learn from this ancient wisdom of honoring and harmonizing with the earth's cycles. This is a good time for the people of the planet to become more in tune with Gaia, the earth, through our own rituals and celebrations during these solar and lunar key times. This will help the planet Earth make the necessary vibrational shift into the greater galactic community and transform into a fifth dimensional planet. So find a way to celebrate the solstice, whether it's doing your own personal ritual or getting together with a group. I've been doing solstice activations for over 20 years, and part of what I share with my students and clients and participants in my solar festivals marking the solstices, both the winter and the summer solstice with the group energy, I teach Sanskrit mantras for the sun. So when we come back, tune in for sun mantras that you can chant at the solstice. Now, welcome to the part of the episode when I share Sanskrit mantras for the sun. These are good to do at the solar festivals, but even every Sunday, it's really auspicious to chant sun mantras. Chanting sun mantras can help us in many ways, including bringing powerful healing into the body. In Vedic astrology, the sun is named Surya in Sanskrit, and chanting sun mantras is done to mitigate issues with the sun in our birth chart, either by placement in the natal chart that has difficult aspects from other planets, or by transiting planets that stir up problems for your sun in your chart now, or even in dasha cycles in Jyotish, Vedic astrology, that affect the sun. Sun mantras also help to bring healing not only to the whole body, but to specific areas in the body ruled by the sun, including the eyes, the heart, the circulatory system, the thymus gland, and the upper portion of the back. The planetary deity Surya, for the sun, is propitiated for increasing courage and fame, and also brings illumination, healing abilities, and spiritual magnetism. Chanting sun mantras can always bring healing to the chanter who they are chanting on behalf of. There are specific healing sun mantras including Om Arkaya Namaha and Om Hiranya Garbhaya Namaha. There are 12 sun mantras which are called the fruits of the sun, and they bestow various gifts of the sun onto the chanter. I will share 6 of these 12 fruits of the sun today. The first sun mantra or fruit of the sun is to Surya, and this can be chanted to help mitigate astrological afflictions to the sun. And this very simple mantra is Om Suryaya Namaha. It propitiates the planetary deity of the sun and is the dispeller of darkness. I'm going to chant Om Suryaya Namaha 27 times. Om Suryaya Namaha, 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 Om Suryaya Namaha. The next two mantras for the sun that I'm going to share are healing mantras from the fruits of the sun. So the next mantra is Om Arkaya Namaha, which means remover of afflictions and giver of energy. Om Arkaya Namaha, chanted 27 times. Om Arkaya Namaha, 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 Om Arkaya Namaha. The next mantra is a healing sun mantra, Om Hiranya Garbhaya Namaha, which invokes the golden healing light of the sun. So Om Arkaya Namaha and Om Hiranya Garbhaya Namaha, you can actually put your hands on the part of your body where you want healing, or on that person that you're giving healing to. But if you are going to do these mantras for healing for others, you want to preface it with, I do not take on their karma. So here is the healing mantra of the sun that invokes the golden healing light, Om Hiranya Garbhaya Namaha, chanted 27 times. Om Hiranya Garbhaya Namaha, 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 Om Hiranya Garbhaya Namaha. And the fourth sun mantra is Om Ravaye Namaha, the giver of radiance. Let's chant it 27 times. Om Ravaye Namaha, 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 Om Ravaye Namaha. The fifth fruit of the sun mantra is Om Adityaya Namaha, for the light of the sage. Let's chant it 27 times. Om Adityaya Namaha, 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 Om Adityaya Namaha. And the final sun mantra I will share today is Om Savitre Namaha, which bestows the light of enlightenment. We can all use more of that. So join me in chanting Om Savitre Namaha 27 times. Om Savitre Namaha, 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 Om Savitre Namaha. I hope you enjoyed this episode on the solstices and sun mantras. Make sure you subscribe and download and give us a 5-star review. This is Cosmic Scene with Jill Jardine, sending you healing solar vibrations through the quantum field.